1096, tens of thousands of people marched to Jerusalem, without weapons, without training, and most of them never came back. This is the story of the strangest crusade in history. In the autumn of 1095, in the heart of medieval France, a moment occurred that would change the course of history. Thousands gathered in the town of Clermont, clergy, nobles, knights, and common people. They came to hear the words of a man whose voice carried the authority of the church. That man was Pope Urban II. Standing before the crowd, the Pope spoke of the suffering of Christians in the East, of the sacred city of Jerusalem, and of a holy duty. He called upon the warriors of Europe to take up the cross and march eastward to liberate the Holy Land. The response was immediate and electrifying. The crowd cried out, "Deus vult!" God wills it. But something unexpected was already beginning to take shape. Before the armies of knights could even assemble, before kings and princes organized their campaigns, a different crusade began. Not led by kings, not fought by trained soldiers, but carried forward by the poor. History would remember it as the People's Crusade. At the center of this movement stood a man who looked nothing like a military leader. He was small, thin, dressed in simple robes. He rode a donkey through dusty roads and village paths. Yet wherever he went, crowds followed. His name was Peter the Hermit. Peter was a wandering preacher. He traveled across northern France and the Rhineland, speaking with fiery conviction. According to medieval chroniclers, his sermons were powerful enough to move entire towns. He spoke of visions, he spoke of Jerusalem, he spoke of a divine mission. For many who listened, the message felt irresistible. Peasants abandoned their farms, craftsmen left their workshops, families packed their belongings and joined the march. Thousands sewed small crosses onto their garments. They believed they were answering God's call, and so they began to walk east. What followed was unlike anything Europe had seen before. This was not a disciplined army. It was a migration, a human tide moving slowly across the continent. Men, women, children, priests carrying relics, farmers with crude weapons, pilgrims singing hymns as they walked. Estimates vary, but tens of thousands may have joined the movement. Some groups were led by minor knights, others followed charismatic preachers. But the largest and most famous group followed Peter the Hermit himself. Their destination lay thousands of kilometers away. The city they dreamed of was Jerusalem. But before reaching the Holy Land, they had to cross the lands of the Byzantine Empire. In the spring of 1096, the wandering crusaders entered the territory of the Kingdom of Hungary. The journey was long and difficult. Food was scarce. Discipline was almost non-existent. Tensions sometimes erupted between crusaders and local populations. Yet despite the hardships, the movement continued. Step by step, road by road, they pushed toward the east. Months later, the Crusaders reached one of the greatest cities in the world, the capital of the Byzantine Empire, the magnificent city of Constantinople. Its towering walls, glittering churches, and imperial palaces must have seemed almost unbelievable to the exhausted pilgrims. But their arrival caused alarm in the imperial court. Byzantine Emperor Alexios I Komnenos had asked the West for military assistance against the Turks. What he received instead was an enormous and unpredictable crowd. These were not the trained knights he expected. They were poorly armed, poorly organized, and difficult to control. Fearing disorder within his capital, the emperor acted quickly. He arranged ships to transport the Crusaders across the Bosporus into Asia Minor. From there, they would continue their journey towards the Holy Land. But once they crossed the strait, they entered dangerous territory. Land controlled by the Seljuk Turks. The ruler of these lands was the Seljuk Sultan Kilij Arslan I, an experienced commander who had already defeated Byzantine armies. When he first heard about the Crusaders, he was not particularly worried. Reports suggested they were poorly armed peasants. But the Crusaders themselves were full of confidence. Driven by faith, they believed divine protection would guide them. Many expected miracles. Few understood the realities of war. In October of 1096, near the settlement of Siveto, the fragile Crusader force made a fatal mistake. Some groups advanced recklessly into Seljuk territory, others looted nearby settlements. The response from the Turks was swift. Seljuk cavalry surrounded the Crusader camps. Then the attack began. Arrows rained down. Panic spread through the camp. The untrained pilgrims had no defense against disciplined mounted warriors. Within hours, the Crusader force collapsed. Thousands were killed. Others fled into the forests or toward the sea. The People's Crusade had been annihilated. What began with hope and faith ended in catastrophe. Yet one key figure survived. At the time of the attack, Peter the Hermit had left the camp and returned to Constantinople to seek supplies. When news of the disaster reached him, the movement he had inspired was already gone. But the story of the Crusade was not over. In the months that followed, the true armies of the West began to arrive. Knights, princes, professional soldiers. They formed the great expedition known as the First Crusade. Peter eventually joined these armies as a spiritual leader. 3 years later, in 1099, the Crusaders would capture Jerusalem. Today, the People's Crusade remains one of the most remarkable episodes of the medieval world. It was not a campaign organized by kings. It was a movement born from belief, from sermons, from desperation, from hope. Tens of thousands of ordinary people left their homes, convinced they were walking toward a sacred destiny. Instead, many walked into tragedy. Yet their story reveals something powerful about the age of the Crusades, an age when faith could move entire populations, and when a single wandering preacher could ignite a movement that shook Europe. And at the heart of that movement stood a man with no army, no crown, and no power except his voice. A voice that inspired thousands to follow him across a continent. His name was Peter the Hermit. Just as the Crusaders sought the divine, so too does Martinengo 1522 AD, the siege awaits you on Amazon. Experience the adventure. Martinengo 1522, The Siege, a historical novel.